Hey, it's Rich Tehrani. We're at the IT Expo Tech Super Show 2020 in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Andy Thuri is with us. He is with deepsense.ai. Andy, how are you?
Hey, Rich, how are you? Good, good. Thanks for having me on the show.
Pleasure to have you. So what does your company do? I imagine it has something to do with AI, because you not only have AI in the company name, but you also have it in your last name, which is kind of interesting.
Thank you. I hope I'm doing justice to that. So we at deepsenseai, we are what I call it is a pure boutique AI consulting company. So we kind of work with customers to solve their business problems. So we're not just a pure technologist, even though we have about 60 or 70 high-level data scientists with real PhD degrees, but we specialize in solving real-world problems for the customers.
At what point do companies, or should companies, come to you if they're looking to implement AI and they're just not sure what to do?
Right. Great question. So it depends, right? I know everybody says that, but again, there are companies who are on the far end of the spectrum. They exactly know what they're doing. They already figured out the use case. They already figured out the outcomes. They already figured out what model need to be even created. They even have their data ready. So they come to us at that stage saying that, you know what, we got everything, but we just need a couple of data scientists to fine tune our model and then create the model, we'll run with that. And we can work with that. We have some really high-level data scientists who can solve your problem, and then you can move on from there and integrate it into your product solution. But on the other end of the spectrum, there are companies that will come to us saying that, you know what, we keep hearing about this AI. We don't even know what it can do for us, what business problem it could solve. We could even engage those companies saying that, you know what, let's work with the executives first. Figure out, what is the business problem that we can help solve, and where is your data quality, and then what we can do to solve those kind of things. So we could go from end-to-end spectrum overall.
So what sorts of business problems have you solved in what industries?
Across the board, if you look at it, it's our expertise. I would say probably computer vision is one, or machine vision as I call it, and then we do a lot of predictive modeling, right? We do a lot of demand gen or demand forecasting rather, right? To figure out where it'll come in. And then we have also done very researchy projects for some of the big name companies out here in the US when they're doing actual research projects, right? Then we get involved with that to solve some of the problems. So if you go to our website, you could see a lot of these big names, which I don't want to throw out here, but you can see some of the big names in there, and we're involved in research projects.
You're allowed to give us a couple if you want.
Okay, I would say companies like Google, L'Oreal, Intel, need to name some of those companies, right? So at the end of the day, when they come to us, some of these companies, like I said, they actually know what they're doing. They're like, you know what, I've already done that. I'm this close, but I need somebody to help me over the finish line. So we help them with that. But there are companies, matter of fact, I'm talking to one here at the conference. They came to us and said that, you know what, we collect a ton of data, right? We don't know what to do with that. Can you help us? And that's actually our sweet spot, because if you have at the end of the day, people think AI is magic. Kind of to an extent, but it's not all magic, right? Because you got to have data first to do something with that. If you don't have data, if you come and tell me you have 3 rows of data or 20 data points, solve the problem with AI, there's not much I can do about it. You need to have data, and you couldn't figure out what comes out of it. So if you could come to me with a lot of data, you're already halfway there, or more than halfway there, I can help you.
And it's a good time for your company because getting a hold of data scientists is becoming increasingly difficult, right?
That's actually an interesting point you make. So especially, companies in California, when you go and talk with them, there's this company I'm in conversation with. They said, speak to my senior data scientist. And I'm not a data scientist. I'm more of a business kind of guy and a technologist. And then after about 10 minutes of conversation with them, he knows a lot less than about AI than I do, or about models, or how to create them, how to infer them, how to do it in the edge. So I don't want to, blame companies, but that's the talent pool that they have, especially when you have to compete in this such a hot market. What we do is that, we want to work with companies to do more of a staff augmentation, even if it comes down to it, saying that, I want a real senior data scientist. When I say senior data scientist, I'm talking about people who have about 5 to 7 years of experience with a real PhD in data science or in physics or statistics or mathematics, who can come and solve real world problems. That's what we specialize in.
Excellent. How do people find you?
So they could find us at deepsense.ai, or they could reach out to me directly at andy@deepsense.ai, or they could call me, or they could tweet at me or connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm available anytime.
Thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.